Shadow work is an act of profound courage, a transformative journey that invites us to venture deep within ourselves, to unearth and confront the hidden aspects of our minds. These are the parts we often choose to ignore or keep locked away in the darkness, concealed from the world and sometimes even from our own awareness. It's a process that calls us to look unflinchingly at the things we fear, the insecurities that lurk quietly in our hearts, and the unresolved emotions that shape the course of our lives in ways we might not even realize. The path of shadow work isn't an easy one. It requires vulnerability, patience, and a willingness to face uncomfortable truths. Yet, for those who are willing to take this brave step, it offers the chance to integrate all parts of ourselves, to reclaim our wholeness, and to experience profound personal growth. The concept of the shadow was introduced by Carl Jung, a visionary Swiss psychiatrist who recognized that within each of us lies a delicate balance between light and darkness. He understood that our shadow encompasses all the aspects of ourselves that we deem unacceptable, unworthy, or shameful. These are the traits, desires, and emotions we've learned to hide, either because they do not conform to societal expectations or because we've been taught to repress them for fear of rejection. The shadow doesn't disappear when we push it away. Instead, it continues to exert a powerful influence over how we think, feel, and interact with others, often without our conscious awareness. Shadow work urges us to embark on an exploration of these hidden parts, to shine a light on what has been cast into the darkness, and to welcome them as an essential part of our being. It's not about eliminating the shadow. It's about accepting it, understanding its origins, and learning to harness its energy in a positive and constructive way. When we embrace our shadow, we begin to unlock a new level of personal potential. We uncover hidden strengths, creativity, and wisdom that had been buried beneath the surface, waiting to be revealed. The parts of ourselves that we've long avoided or feared may actually lead us to our greatest breakthroughs and deepest realizations. Consider the immense energy we expend in keeping our shadow at bay. The constant vigilance required to uphold a carefully constructed image, the exhausting effort of denying or suppressing parts of our nature. It's a heavy burden to bear. But shadow work offers a different path, one of acceptance, wholeness, and integration. When we allow ourselves to be fully who we are, without fear, without judgment, we open the floodgates to a wellspring of vitality and authenticity. Life becomes more fluid, more effortless, and we enter a state of flow where our actions align with our true self. This process of inner exploration ripples out into all areas of our lives. It strengthens our relationships as we become more genuine and open with others. Our creativity flourishes as we dive into the deeper, uncharted regions of our mind. We begin to understand our true purpose more clearly when we reconnect with our desires and values, instead of following the expectations imposed on us by society or others. Lesson 1. Getting to know the shadow, the parts of yourself you've overlooked. Everyone carries a shadow, a hidden part of ourselves that we conceal from the world, and sometimes even from our own consciousness. Our shadow holds the aspects of our personality that we consider unworthy, shameful, or undesirable. It's a complex mix of traits, impulses, and emotions that we've been conditioned to suppress, either by societal standards or by our personal experiences. Carl Jung believed that the shadow is not something inherently bad. In fact, it holds the keys to unlocking our greatest strengths, our hidden creativity, and our deepest passions. But why do we overlook these aspects of ourselves? From a young age, we begin to adapt to our environment, learning to fit in with our families and communities. We absorb messages about what is acceptable and what isn't, which behaviors are praised and which are punished. Over time, we learn to suppress the parts of ourselves that don't align with these external expectations. Imagine a child who is naturally exuberant, full of energy and expression. If they are repeatedly told to quiet down, to tone down their enthusiasm, they may come to associate their natural vivacity with shame or disapproval. Over the years, this vibrant energy gets tucked away into the shadow, still present but no longer expressed. The shadow, however, is not limited to the negative traits we hide. It can also encompass positive qualities that we suppress out of a sense of unworthiness or fear that they might not fit our self-image. For example, Someone who feels weak may struggle to acknowledge their inner strength, unable to fully access or appreciate it. When we disregard our shadow, we pay a heavy price. The energy required to keep these parts of ourselves hidden is draining, leaving us with less vitality to grow, create, and express who we truly are. It's like trying to keep a beach ball submerged underwater. It takes constant effort, and yet it will always resurface. By engaging in shadow work, we begin to stop hiding from ourselves. We can confront our fears, embrace our complexities, and move toward a life of greater authenticity and fulfillment. In doing so, we reconnect with the parts of ourselves that we have long ignored, and in the process, we rediscover the power, creativity, and strength that were always within us, waiting to be recognized. The aspects of ourselves that we tend to overlook don't simply vanish. Instead, they resurface in our lives, often manifesting in ways that hinder our growth and well-being. When we suppress anger, it doesn't disappear. It often erupts in passive-aggressive actions that quietly sabotage our relationships. When creativity is stifled, a restless emptiness takes root, making us feel unfulfilled, as though something essential is missing. Understanding and embracing our shadow is vital for our personal completeness. As we begin to recognize and accept these neglected parts of ourselves, we unlock an immense reservoir of energy and potential. It's like allowing a beach ball, long kept submerged beneath the surface, to rise freely. The energy once used to keep it down is now released, making us feel lighter, more whole. However, acknowledging our shadow can be a challenging experience, one that pushes us to face the parts of ourselves we've long avoided. It requires us to confront our fears, our insecurities, and the qualities we've deemed unworthy. This discomfort, though difficult to endure, is often the fertile ground from which personal growth and deeper self-awareness emerge. As we explore our shadow, we may come to realize that many of the traits we once dismissed are, in fact, strengths. Qualities like sensitivity, which we've tried to suppress, can actually be the source of profound empathy and intuition. The anger we've carefully concealed may give us the assertiveness to set healthy boundaries, allowing us to protect ourselves with confidence. Embracing our shadow not only helps us become kinder to ourselves, but also to others. When we understand that everyone harbors a darker side, we find ourselves less judgmental and more accepting of both ourselves and the people around us. The traits we find irritating in others are often reflections of the very aspects of ourselves that we've rejected. This is where the law of attraction comes into play. We tend to draw in experiences that reflect who we truly are, rather than what we consciously desire. When we ignore parts of ourselves, we create an inner conflict that manifests as disharmony in the outer world. Once we begin to accept our shadow, we bring balance to our inner and outer worlds, allowing us to attract experiences that align with our authentic, complete self. However, this process of integration is not about giving in to every impulse or recklessly expressing all the hidden parts of our psyche. It's about acknowledging these aspects of ourselves, understanding where they come from, and discovering constructive, positive ways to channel their energy. Embarking on the journey of shadow work requires an open heart and mind, accompanied by self-compassion. Our shadow was formed as a survival mechanism, helping us adapt to the world around us, but some of these adaptations no longer serve us in the way they once did. Lesson 2. Why ignoring your shadow hinders your success. In our pursuit of success and happiness, we often look outside of ourselves for validation, seeking external achievements, material possessions, and the approval of others. We present our best selves to the world while quietly hiding away the parts we deem unworthy or undesirable. This is where the shadow makes itself known. The aspects of ourselves we've tucked away, hoping they'll simply fade into the background if we ignore them long enough. But the truth is that the shadow doesn't disappear. On the contrary, it grows stronger, more insistent, and more disruptive the longer we try to push it out of sight. Imagine the shadow as a playful child, always seeking attention. The harder we try to ignore it, the more it demands to be seen, showing up in unexpected ways, through self-sabotage, sudden mood swings, or an overwhelming sense of emptiness, even after we've achieved what we thought we wanted. The shadow holds a tremendous amount of power, and if we continue to neglect it, that power works against us rather than for us. Have you ever found yourself on the brink of accomplishing something significant only to accidentally sabotage it at the last moment? Or perhaps you've reached a long-sought goal only to feel strangely dissatisfied or even more anxious than you were before. These are clear signs that the shadow is at play. Ignoring our shadow creates an internal struggle, one that saps our energy and distracts us from what we truly want to accomplish. The law of attraction teaches us that we attract what we focus on, and this applies not only to our conscious thoughts, but also to our subconscious mind, where the shadow resides. If we harbor fears, insecurities, or negative beliefs that we don't recognize, we might unknowingly attract circumstances that highlight and reinforce those very beliefs. This is why shadow work is so crucial. It allows us to identify and transform the hidden parts of ourselves, bringing them into alignment with our conscious desires and goals. When we face our shadow and integrate it into our lives, we no longer need to waste energy hiding from it. Instead, we reclaim that energy and direct it towards building the life we truly want. Shadow work isn't about becoming a slave to our darker impulses. It's about acknowledging them, understanding their origins, and finding healthier, more constructive ways to express and direct their power. Only when we make peace with our shadow can we truly step into our full potential, breaking free from the limitations we've unknowingly imposed on ourselves. The parts of yourself that you've tucked away or denied are like an anchor weighing down your boat, no matter how hard you row toward your destination. No matter how much effort you put into moving forward, there's always something pulling you back, keeping you from reaching the place you truly want to be. Not acknowledging your shadow, those hidden aspects of yourself, can lead to an inauthentic life. It's like wearing a mask that others can sense, even if they can't quite explain it. This lack of authenticity can poison your relationships, whether in your personal life or at work. People are naturally drawn to those who are real, who know themselves deeply, and accept all parts of who they are. When you're always hiding parts of yourself, you're unknowingly building a wall that separates you from the genuine connections that are the foundation of true success and happiness. Your shadow is not something to be feared or ignored. It is where your greatest strengths and most unique gifts reside. The qualities we often despise in ourselves, whether it's our sensitivity, our anger, or our insecurities, can, when understood and embraced, become powerful advantages. If you suppress your anger, you might be missing out on the courage and passion needed to stand up for what you believe in, for both yourself and others. Ignoring your shadow means disregarding a wellspring of potential and creativity that could fuel your personal growth and success. True success is not simply about reaching external goals. It's about achieving wholeness, integrating all parts of yourself into one unified self. By rejecting your shadow, you turn away from a part of who you are, and this disconnection leads to inner conflict, leaving you stuck and unfulfilled. Self-rejection, the act of turning away from parts of yourself, is a subtle way of holding yourself back from the life you deserve. It sends a hidden message to your subconscious that you don't deserve success or happiness, that you're not worthy of achieving your dreams. To reach your full potential and create lasting success, you must be ready to dive deep within yourself, to explore the parts of your mind you've been avoiding for years. This doesn't mean engaging in harmful behaviors or accepting destructive traits. It means recognizing these aspects for what they are, understanding where they come from, and finding healthier, more constructive ways to express or transform them. Your shadow is not your enemy. It is a part of you that needs love, attention, and acceptance, not rejection. Facing and accepting your shadow is no easy task. It demands courage, honesty, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths about yourself. But the rewards of doing this work are immeasurable. When you start engaging with your shadow, you will find a sense of inner peace that no external achievement can provide. You will uncover new wellsprings of creativity and inner strength, and your relationships will deepen and strengthen as you become more authentic. The more you harmonize your shadow with the rest of yourself, the more powerfully the law of attraction will work in your favor. Your energy will become focused, unified, and magnetic. You will clearly communicate to the universe what you truly desire, and you'll attract experiences, opportunities, and relationships that are in alignment with your most authentic self. Success, in this sense, is not a final destination but an ongoing journey of growth, self-discovery, and transformation. When you recognize and integrate your shadow, you are not only clearing obstacles that stand in the way of success, you are redefining what success means to you. You are shifting away from seeking external approval, from chasing material rewards, and moving toward a deeper, more meaningful sense of accomplishment. This new kind of success is based on understanding who you are, being true to yourself, and growing from within. So, the next time you feel stuck, frustrated, or as though nothing is going right despite your hard work, pause for a moment and look inward. What parts of yourself have you been overlooking or pushing away? What fears or doubts are quietly holding you back from reaching your potential? By exploring these hidden aspects of yourself, you begin the process of shadow work. This journey may not always be easy, but it leads to profound self-discovery, helping you live in a more genuine, authentic way. Your shadow holds the keys to your highest potential, and in embracing both your light and dark, you will unlock paths to success that you never thought were possible. Now, let's take a step further into the realm of fear and doubt. Doing shadow work takes us into the heart of our biggest fears and insecurities. It's a path that requires bravery, as it asks us to explore parts of our psyche where we have hidden away memories or emotions too painful or shameful to confront. But by facing these hidden aspects, we open the door to our greatest opportunities for growth and transformation. Fear, while often seen as a negative force, is a natural and essential part of being human. It has kept us safe throughout our evolution, protecting us from physical danger and helping us avoid harm. Yet, in the modern world, many of our fears are no longer tied to immediate threats. Instead, they have transformed into mental barriers that hold us back from living fully and authentically. These fears often present themselves as insecurities, nagging doubts about our worth, our abilities, or our place in the world. They speak to us during moments of weakness, whispering that we're not good enough, not smart enough, or not deserving of success. These fears stop us from taking risks, chasing our dreams, or connecting deeply with others. But what if these fears are not simply obstacles to be overcome? What if they are, in fact, messages from our deeper selves, trying to tell us something important? What if they are revealing the parts of us that need healing, integration, and understanding? Shadow work invites us to shift our perspective and see our fears not as enemies, but as guides leading us toward the wholeness we are meant to embody. When we begin to face our fears and insecurities, we often find that they are deeply rooted in past experiences or beliefs we've carried with us for years. Perhaps, as children, we faced harsh criticism that now haunts us, leaving us with a lingering fear of failure. Maybe we've experienced rejection in the past, making it difficult to build trust or form close relationships. There are those moments when we learn that certain feelings or characteristics of ourselves were not acceptable, and as a result, we've tucked them away, afraid to let them see the light of day. The first step in confronting these fears is to simply recognize them, but without judgment or harsh self-criticism. This requires a level of self-awareness and honesty that can be unsettling at first, as it asks us to look at ourselves in a way we might have been avoiding for a long time. To heal, we must be willing to examine ourselves with a gentle, open heart, acknowledging both our strengths and our weaknesses. Instead of fixating on our flaws or shortcomings, we must learn to approach them with curiosity, compassion, and patience. As we begin to face these fears head-on, something remarkable happens. We start to understand them. These fears are not permanent truths about who we are. They are simply stories we've created in our minds, stories shaped by past experiences, perceptions, and beliefs. And like any story, these tales can be rewritten. This is the essence of the law of attraction. Our thoughts and beliefs have the power to shape our reality. What we believe we deserve or don't deserve often manifests in our lives. If we hold the belief that we are unworthy of love, we may unknowingly push others away, even when we long for connection. If we believe we are destined to fail, we might sabotage our efforts before we even take the first step. But by facing these fears and insecurities directly, we begin the process of transforming the limiting beliefs that have held us captive for so long. We can choose to view ourselves as worthy, capable, and deserving of all the beauty and success life has to offer. Changing our mindset is not an overnight process. It is a journey that requires patience, dedication, and consistent effort. Each small step we take to face our fears and challenge our insecurities adds to our growing sense of self-worth, confidence, and inner strength. One powerful way to address these fears is to engage with them, almost as if they were separate beings. Instead of running from them, try having a conversation with your fear. Ask it what it wants, what it is protecting you from. Listen to what it has to say, without judgment or anger. Fears often stem from outdated beliefs or misunderstandings we've held about ourselves and the world. They are not facts. They are simply echoes from the past that no longer serve us. A helpful strategy for dealing with fear is to gently expose yourself to the things that make you anxious. If you fear speaking in public, start by sharing your thoughts in smaller, more comfortable settings. If rejection is your fear, seek out low-pressure situations where you can practice putting yourself out there. Over time, you will notice that the grip of these fears loosens, and they lose their power over you. Confronting your fears doesn't mean that you will no longer feel afraid. Fear is an intrinsic part of being human. It has evolved as a protective mechanism, helping us survive and adapt. But fear does not need to control us. The goal is not to eliminate fear, but to develop a healthier relationship with it, to view it as a source of information rather than a directive to retreat. Each time you feel fear, recognize it as an opportunity for growth. It is a chance to deepen your understanding of yourself and to push beyond the boundaries of your comfort zone. As you face your fears and insecurities, you may also begin to notice that they are connected to other, deeper parts of your hidden self. Perhaps your fear of failure is tied to the belief that you don't deserve to succeed, or that you are not capable of achieving your dreams. Maybe your struggles with relationships are not just about fear of rejection, but are also linked to unresolved anger or resentment from the past. Shadow work is a holistic process, meaning that when we focus on one area of healing, other parts of ourselves naturally begin to heal as well. When we confront our biggest fears, we may uncover painful truths, but these truths are the keys to unlocking our growth. The journey is challenging, and sometimes you may feel overwhelmed or tempted to return to familiar patterns that feel safer. But in those moments, be gentle with yourself. Remind yourself that you are doing important, courageous work. Every step, no matter how small, is a step forward on the path to self-empowerment. As you move forward in your journey, you'll begin to notice that your fears lose their grip on you. You will begin to feel more grounded, more authentic, and more vibrant. Your energy will align with your true self, and as a result, you'll start to attract experiences and relationships that resonate with who you truly are, rather than being shaped by the fears that once held you back. The more you embrace your shadow, the more you step into your power, and the more naturally success and fulfillment will come to you. In the process of shadow work, one of the most valuable tools we have is the ability to identify and understand our triggers, those emotional responses that arise unexpectedly, often when we least expect them. These triggers, though uncomfortable, are not mere annoyances. They are the messengers that point us toward the parts of ourselves that need attention and healing. Triggers don't happen by accident. They stem from past experiences, unresolved traumas, and old beliefs that we've never fully processed. Whenever we experience a surge of anger, sadness, or anxiety, it is an invitation to explore what lies beneath the surface. It is an opportunity to face the hurts and wounds we've kept hidden and to approach them with compassion and understanding. The law of attraction teaches us that what we focus on, we attract. If we remain unaware of our triggers, we might unknowingly invite situations or people into our lives that bring these unresolved emotions to the surface. The universe, it seems, has a way of bringing us face to face with the things we need to heal until we acknowledge and take action to address them. So, how do we begin to identify and work through our triggers? The first step is to become deeply aware of our emotions, to pay attention to the subtle shifts in our mood, the tightness in our chest, or the clenching of our jaw. These physical sensations often signal that a trigger has been activated, and when we tune into our bodies, we create a foundation for deeper exploration. Once we've identified a trigger, the next step is to approach it with curiosity, rather than judgment. It is all too easy to criticize ourselves when we feel triggered, to label ourselves as weak or flawed. But self-criticism only strengthens the trigger and makes the pattern harder to break. Instead, we should cultivate a sense of gentle curiosity. Ask yourself, what is this trigger trying to teach me? What part of me needs attention and healing? As we engage with these questions, we often discover that our triggers are connected to core beliefs we hold about ourselves and the world around us. These beliefs, often born from old wounds, shape the way we react to situations and people. By addressing our triggers with awareness and compassion, we begin to transform the very beliefs that have been holding us back for so long. When a comment from a colleague touches a raw spot, it may stir up deep-seated feelings of inadequacy, feelings that could trace back to our earliest years. Perhaps, as children, we were subjected to harsh judgment or constant comparison, and now, as adults, those same voices echo in our minds, reinforcing the belief that we're not good enough. Similarly, when a partner asks for space, it might trigger a deep, unsettling fear of abandonment, a fear born from old wounds in our early relationships where attachment was fragile and unreliable. These triggers, though they seem to surface in everyday interactions, are often rooted in forgotten experiences or long-held beliefs, shaping the way we perceive ourselves and the world around us. The process of confronting these triggers is not for the faint of heart. It takes tremendous courage to face the discomfort and pain that emerges when we acknowledge our vulnerabilities. But with each brave step, we begin to reclaim our power. Every time we confront a trigger, it's like unlocking a door to a part of ourselves that's been imprisoned by fear and automatic responses. Over time, as we face these triggers with compassion, we begin to see them in a new light, no longer as overwhelming storms of emotion, but as opportunities for self-discovery and growth. We learn to pause when we feel triggered. Instead of reacting impulsively, we breathe, take a moment to assess the situation, and choose how to respond. It's in this space, the gap between stimulus and reaction, that our true freedom lies. As we continue this practice, we begin to invite new experiences into our lives. The law of attraction works its magic when we remove the blockages created by unresolved triggers. As we heal, we open ourselves up to more fulfilling relationships, richer experiences, and environments that nurture our growth instead of dredging up past pain. This journey is not about eliminating triggers altogether. Feeling emotions in response to life's challenges is a natural part of being human. The goal is to create a new relationship with these triggers, one built on awareness, kindness, and the understanding that they can be catalysts for growth. As we move forward, we may find that what once felt like an insurmountable burden now transforms into a gift, an invaluable guide that leads us toward a deeper, more integrated self. The wisdom traditions from around the world have always recognized the importance of facing our shadows, those parts of ourselves we tend to avoid or repress, in order to grow. In Jungian psychology, the process of integrating the shadow is crucial for individuation, the journey toward becoming our true selves. Similarly, Buddhist teachings emphasize the importance of observing our reactions without being overwhelmed by them. This mindfulness approach aligns perfectly with the process of recognizing and healing our triggers. By doing the inner work to understand and heal ourselves, we don't just transform our own lives. We also become a source of healing for others, creating a ripple effect that extends to our relationships, our communities, and even the larger systems we inhabit. As we engage in this healing work, we become agents of change in a world that is in desperate need of more awareness, compassion, and kindness. Every time we confront a trigger, we don't just heal a part of ourselves, we create space for a more enlightened, connected world. We often find ourselves stuck in repetitive cycles, making the same mistakes and facing the same challenges over and over again. These patterns are not random. They are ingrained habits, often formed over many years, that hold us back from stepping into our fullest potential. These patterns, invisible to our conscious mind, are woven into the fabric of our daily lives, influencing our choices, our relationships, and our responses to everything around us. Sometimes, these patterns are so subtle that we barely notice them, going through life on autopilot, unaware of how they limit our growth. The first step in breaking free from these cycles is awareness. To truly see these patterns, we must cultivate mindfulness and self-awareness. This means observing our thoughts, feelings, and behaviors without judgment, taking a step back as if watching ourselves from the outside, like characters in a movie. This detachment allows us to gain perspective and notice recurring patterns that have been dictating our lives. A powerful tool to begin this process is journaling. By reflecting on our daily experiences, what happened, how we felt, and how we responded, we begin to uncover the hidden threads that bind us to old habits. Over time, we may notice that certain patterns emerge. Maybe we become defensive when receiving feedback or procrastinate on tasks we know are important. Once we start recognizing these patterns, we begin to understand that they often stem from deeply held beliefs or fears. For instance, avoiding commitment in relationships may come from the fear of being abandoned, while an obsession with overworking may be tied to the belief that our worth is tied to our productivity. Understanding the roots of these patterns is crucial to changing them. We must approach this process with patience, kindness, and an open heart. These patterns didn't form overnight, and they were once protective strategies, built over years or even decades. They served a purpose in the past, even if they no longer serve us today. Recognizing this helps us face change with compassion, rather than judgment. As we begin to notice our patterns, we may also uncover triggers, specific situations or stimuli that activate these unconscious behaviors. A certain tone of voice may remind us of a critical parent, making us feel defensive. A looming deadline might trigger feelings of self-doubt, causing us to procrastinate. By becoming aware of these triggers, we can pause before reacting and choose a different response. The law of attraction teaches us that what we focus on grows. If we constantly dwell on our perceived failures, we inadvertently attract experiences that reinforce those beliefs. But when we become aware of our patterns, we can shift our focus toward growth and new possibilities. This shift opens the door to fresh experiences, new opportunities, and a life that aligns with who we are becoming, rather than who we were. By understanding and changing our patterns, we not only create a better future for ourselves, but we also become part of a larger movement toward healing, growth, and transformation for the world around us. To attract experiences that truly align with our desires and abilities, we must first visualize the person we want to become, the ideal version of ourselves, free from the weight of our current habits. Imagine shedding the old behaviors that have held us back and stepping into the shoes of a person who naturally handles life with grace and confidence. How would this ideal self react to the situations that usually trigger old patterns? What new actions would they take, and how would they approach challenges with fresh eyes? By allowing ourselves to embody this ideal version of who we are, we can begin to cultivate the habits that reflect our true potential, creating a path toward growth and transformation. It's important to understand that these patterns we strive to change are often part of a web of interconnected behaviors. When we focus on transforming one aspect of ourselves, such as people-pleasing, we may find that other related patterns also begin to shift. For example, you might notice that the desire to please others is often coupled with a tendency to avoid conflict, revealing deeper layers of self-protection. This interconnectedness is why shadow work is an ongoing journey, a process of uncovering one layer only to find that more lies beneath, waiting to be understood. The goal isn't to eliminate all patterns, as some can be beneficial or protective, but rather to identify those that limit us and consciously choose healthier, more empowering ways of being. As we become more attuned to these patterns, we begin to take control of our actions, understanding that we are not victims of our automatic responses. We have the power to choose differently, to act in alignment with our higher self, and this realization can be both liberating and overwhelming. The truth is, change is a gradual process, and while we may occasionally fall back into old habits, this does not diminish the progress we've made. Each time we catch ourselves in an old pattern, it becomes an opportunity to choose a new response, a chance to rewrite the narrative of who we are. As we begin to change, we may notice that our relationships start to shift as well. Some people in our lives might struggle with our transformation, especially if the new behaviors challenge the dynamics that have existed for years. These changes can be difficult, but they also provide a unique opportunity to cultivate relationships that truly nurture and support our growth. Our evolution may require us to let go of connections that no longer align with our true self, but in doing so, we create space for more authentic, meaningful relationships. Now, let's delve into understanding the shadow, the hidden, often neglected part of ourselves that contains both our deepest wounds and our greatest potential. This part of us is not inherently dark or evil, but rather holds the aspects of ourselves that we've been taught to reject or suppress. These might include our fears, insecurities, perceived flaws, or unacknowledged strengths and untapped potential. As we go through life, we present a version of ourselves that we think will be accepted by others, but in doing so, we often bury essential pieces of who we truly are. Our shadow isn't something to fear or fight against. It is a treasure trove of unacknowledged power, waiting to be discovered. Embracing the shadow means accepting that these hidden parts of ourselves are not separate or inferior. They are simply aspects of our complete, authentic self. Accepting these parts is a crucial step toward loving ourselves more fully and tapping into our true power. When we push our shadow away, we expend a tremendous amount of energy maintaining that separation, which creates internal conflict and depletes our resources. However, when we turn toward our shadow with curiosity and compassion, we release this stagnant energy, allowing the flow of abundance to enter our lives and helping us move forward toward our goals. The law of attraction teaches us that we attract not only what we desire, but also what we are. When we fully accept our shadow, we become aligned with our true essence, sending a powerful message to the universe that resonates with our authentic self, not just the image we try to present. This alignment draws experiences, people, and opportunities that reflect who we genuinely are, rather than the mask we once wore. Accepting our shadow is not about indulging in old habits or dwelling on past pain. It's about understanding where these parts of us come from, recognizing them as an integral part of our journey, and bringing them into our conscious awareness. It's about transforming something that was once a source of shame or discomfort into a source of strength, wisdom, and growth. Take anger, for example, a feeling many are taught to repress or fear. For years, we might have believed that anger is a dangerous emotion to be avoided at all costs. Yet, when we accept it, acknowledge its presence, and learn to express it constructively, anger can become a powerful tool for establishing boundaries and driving change. Instead of being consumed by it, we reclaim our power, standing up for ourselves and our beliefs. Similarly, our vulnerability, often seen as a weakness in a world that values toughness, is part of our shadow. When we accept our vulnerability, we open ourselves up to deeper connections, more empathy, and richer, more authentic relationships. Vulnerability can become a bridge, a path to understanding and connecting with others on a profound level. Facing the shadow requires great courage and tenderness toward ourselves. It asks us to confront the parts of us that we've long ignored or feared, but in doing so, we discover that these aspects are not as daunting or complicated as they seem. What we often perceive as darkness or difficulty within ourselves is merely a wounded part of us, waiting to be acknowledged, healed, and reintegrated. As we embrace our shadow, we begin to see profound changes in our relationships as well. We become more accepting of others, recognizing that they too have their own shadows. This mutual understanding fosters greater compassion, empathy, and deeper connections. In the realm of personal growth and manifestation, accepting our shadow can be transformative. Many people find themselves struggling to reach their goals or manifest their desires because they are unknowingly blocking themselves. When we hide from our true self, we inadvertently prevent the universe from aligning with our authentic needs and dreams. But when we face our shadow and integrate it into our lives, we become whole and aligned with our true path, inviting the experiences and opportunities that will help us thrive. When we acknowledge the hidden beliefs and actions that drive our self-sabotage, we begin to uncover the root causes of our inner conflict. By recognizing these unconscious patterns, we can align our actions with what we truly desire, rather than allowing our past wounds to dictate our behavior. Our shadow, often seen as something to fear, actually holds within it the most potent sources of creativity and passion. When we withhold parts of ourselves, we simultaneously hold back our unique gifts and talents, gifts that, once embraced, have the potential to ignite new paths of expression and satisfaction. Embracing the shadow is not a one-time event, but a lifelong process of discovery and self-acceptance. It is an ongoing journey, a continual peeling back of layers as we grow and evolve. With every new stage of life, different aspects of our shadow will emerge, offering fresh opportunities for integration and transformation. Start by approaching your shadow with curiosity rather than judgment. Instead of seeing the parts of yourself you find unacceptable as flaws to be fixed, Open yourself to understanding what they are trying to communicate. What needs are they highlighting? What fears or unresolved emotions do they bring to light? These parts of us carry wisdom, hidden knowledge that can lead us to profound growth when we meet them with kindness and compassion. As you explore your shadow, treat yourself with the same gentleness you would offer to a dear friend. Understand that each hidden part of you was formed for a reason, often to protect or shield you from pain. Appreciate the efforts of these aspects, even as you seek more balanced ways to integrate them into your life. When you begin to accept your shadow, you may notice subtle shifts in your life. Old habits that once held you back may start to loosen their grip. Relationships that felt stagnant or fraught with tension might begin to flow more freely. Goals that once seemed out of reach may suddenly feel attainable. The energy you once spent in internal conflict can now be redirected toward creating the life you truly desire. Embracing your shadow means reconnecting with the full spectrum of who you are, no longer hiding or rejecting parts of yourself. It's about recognizing that your shadow is not an enemy to fight, but an integral part of your identity, ready to be accepted and integrated. When you allow yourself to fully inhabit who you are, you begin to radiate a calm, authentic energy that draws to you experiences and relationships that resonate with your true self. This alignment is powerful, as it attracts into your life the things that match the depth and truth of who you are. Take a deep breath, summon your courage, and face your shadow with acceptance. This is not just an important step in your healing, but a gateway to unlocking your fullest potential and living a life true to who you are. As you embrace your hidden parts, you will see the world around you begin to shift, little by little, as if the universe itself begins to recognize and respond to your newfound wholeness. Healing past wounds is a vital aspect of shadow work, as we often carry within us hidden scars that continue to influence our thoughts, emotions, and actions, even long after the initial pain has faded. These wounds, buried deep in our subconscious, shape our behaviors and reactions, even when we are no longer consciously aware of them. Shadow work invites us to bring these hidden emotions into the light, not to relive the pain, but to recognize the unhealed feelings that have silently governed our lives. Healing begins when we acknowledge the wounds that need attention. Many of these wounds may be so deeply embedded that we forget they are there, but their impact is still felt in the patterns that repeat throughout our lives, patterns of unfulfilled relationships, feelings of inadequacy, or a persistent sense of being blocked from achieving our true potential. By examining these patterns closely, we can trace them back to the original source of the hurt. Perhaps it stems from an early experience of loss, betrayal, or rejection, experiences we may have long buried in our memory. As we explore the inner depths of our psyche, we may unearth emotions we have long kept hidden: anger, fear, shame, and grief. These emotions can feel overwhelming when they first resurface, and it is natural to want to push them back into the shadows where they have lain dormant. However, by doing so, we deny ourselves the opportunity for real healing and growth. The law of attraction teaches us that what we avoid tends to persist, and this is especially true for the buried emotions that continue to exert their influence over us. When we consciously acknowledge and accept these feelings, we start to break their hold on our subconscious minds, freeing ourselves from their silent control. Acknowledging these hidden emotions is a powerful act of healing. It is an affirmation of our experiences, a recognition of the parts of ourselves that have quietly carried these burdens for so long. This process of validation allows us to shift from a place of resistance or denial to one of acceptance and compassion. As we confront these feelings, we may discover that they are linked to the limiting beliefs we hold about ourselves and the world around us. These beliefs, often formed in times of pain or weakness, can keep us trapped in cycles of self-doubt and self-destruction. By revisiting these beliefs with the knowledge and wisdom we've gained through our healing journey, we can begin to question their validity and change the narratives that have kept us stuck. Healing these old wounds through shadow work is not easy. It requires bravery to face the parts of ourselves that we have long avoided, and it can be uncomfortable to sit with the pain we've hidden away for so long. But it is only by confronting these wounds head-on that we can experience true freedom. When we allow ourselves to express the emotions we've been suppressing, we release the energy that has been trapped inside, and this newfound energy becomes available to us for growth and transformation. Forgiveness plays a key role in this healing process, not only forgiving those who have hurt us, but also forgiving ourselves. It can be incredibly difficult to forgive ourselves, especially when we recognize the ways we have contributed to our own suffering through self-criticism and judgment. But through self-compassion and understanding, we create a nurturing inner space where our wounds can begin to heal. As we work on healing our inner wounds, we may notice changes in our outer world as well. The law of attraction shows us that our inner state is mirrored in the experiences we attract. As we release old patterns and let go of emotional baggage, we may find that our relationships improve, new opportunities arise, and life begins to flow more smoothly. The healing process, while deeply personal, has a ripple effect that touches every area of our lives, guiding us toward the fulfillment of our deepest desires and potential. As we begin to acknowledge the hidden emotions and patterns within us, the long-standing problems that once felt insurmountable slowly begin to dissolve. This transformation is not a magical event, but the natural result of integrating the conscious and unconscious aspects of ourselves. It is through this union that we begin to live with more authenticity and inner strength, shedding the weight of confusion and internal conflict. Across different wisdom traditions around the world, the importance of recognizing and accepting our shadow sides has always been understood. By doing so, we reclaim parts of ourselves that we have long ignored, tapping into a wellspring of creativity, resilience, and strength that we may not have even realized was there. This integration of the shadow brings a profound sense of completeness and balance into our lives. No longer are we wasting precious energy battling against our own nature, but instead, we find ourselves flowing in harmony with our true selves. However, the journey of shadow work is not a one-time event. It is an ongoing process of discovery and integration. Our shadows are not enemies to be defeated or eliminated, but aspects of ourselves that require continual exploration and understanding. When we recognize and confront a hidden emotion, we make space within ourselves for love, joy, and peace to take root. Working on our inner selves and healing past wounds is ultimately about uncovering who we truly are and learning how to love ourselves in all our complexity. By facing our deepest pains and fears, we often uncover untapped strengths and potentials that were buried deep within. Through this process of recognition and healing, we free ourselves from old, limiting patterns and open the door to new opportunities and a more genuine expression of who we are. And as we heal, our healing ripples outward, supporting the growth and healing of those around us. The work we do within ourselves shapes how we connect with others and how we build relationships. When we become more whole, we naturally inspire and support others in their own journeys of growth and healing. Recognizing our hidden feelings and healing old wounds is undoubtedly a challenging path, but the rewards are immense. This journey deepens our understanding of ourselves, strengthens our relationships, and brings a sense of fulfillment into our lives. Each step we take on this path, no matter how difficult, brings us closer to the empowered versions of ourselves that we are meant to be. Believe in the journey, be gentle with yourself, and trust that within the challenges lie the keys to your greatest transformation. Self-compassion is one of the most powerful tools we have in this process. Deep within us, where hidden emotions and neglected parts of our psyche reside, lies this tool for profound change. As we begin our shadow work, we often encounter aspects of ourselves that we have avoided, feared, or ignored for years. These parts of ourselves can feel intimidating and even unbearable to face. In these moments, self-compassion becomes our most reliable ally. Self-compassion is not about self-pity, nor is it about indulging every fleeting desire. It is the practice of treating ourselves with kindness, acknowledging that we deserve love and understanding, especially when we are facing our hardest moments. When we approach our shadow with gentleness, we create a safe space for healing and self-awareness. We come to understand that our flaws, fears, and perceived shortcomings do not make us unworthy. Rather, they are simply part of the shared human experience. The law of attraction teaches us that we draw into our lives what we focus on, what we believe, and what we emotionally experience. When we practice self-compassion during shadow work, we shift our inner dialogue from one of criticism and judgment to one of kindness and understanding. This subtle shift in energy reverberates throughout our lives, inviting more compassion, healing, and understanding into our world. Consider, for a moment, the hidden parts of yourself that you may have long denied or ignored. Perhaps it is anger that you deem inappropriate, desire that you feel embarrassed by, or vulnerability that you view as a weakness. Now, imagine looking at these parts not with judgment, but with the same warmth and kindness you would offer a close friend who is struggling. This is the essence of self-compassion and shadow work. When we approach ourselves with this level of understanding, we create a safe space where true healing can occur. As we explore our inner world, we often encounter old wounds from past experiences that have shaped the way we view ourselves and others. These wounds can be delicate and painful when touched, bringing up intense emotions like shame, guilt, or unworthiness. In these moments, self-compassion is not just helpful, it's essential. When we extend kindness to the hurt parts of ourselves, we lay the groundwork for genuine healing to take place. Carl Jung, the philosopher who coined the term shadow, understood the profound importance of integrating all parts of ourselves. He recognized that our shadow contains not only the negative traits we fear or deny, but also the untapped potential we have yet to realize. By approaching our shadow with kindness, we reclaim this lost potential and move closer to becoming the fullest, truest versions of ourselves. When engaging in shadow work, self-compassion can be practiced in simple yet powerful ways. When you encounter a belief or behavior you've been avoiding, take a moment to pause, breathe deeply, and place your hand on your heart if it feels comforting. Acknowledge the discomfort or pain you are experiencing, and then speak to yourself with the same tenderness you would offer to someone you deeply care about. Remind yourself that it is okay, that this is difficult, but that what you are doing matters. You are worthy of love and understanding, even in your most challenging moments. This act of kindness towards yourself does something remarkable. It creates an inner sense of safety, allowing you to face your shadow without fear of rejection. From this place of comfort, you can begin to explore where your shadow aspects originated. See how they once served you, and consider how to incorporate them into your life in healthier, more constructive ways. As we move forward, self-compassion remains a cornerstone of shadow work. It not only helps us heal, but also deepens our understanding of others. When we accept every part of ourselves with love and kindness, we naturally extend that same compassion to the people around us. We recognize that just as we have our own shadows, so too do others. This understanding fosters deeper connection, empathy, and caring in our relationships, creating an environment in which everyone can grow and heal together. When we approach ourselves with kindness during the shadow work process, we unlock a powerful shift not only within us but in the world around us. This gentle self-acceptance mirrors the concept of abundance, particularly emotional abundance, which contrasts sharply with the scarcity mindset we often harbor. By treating ourselves with compassion, we draw from a place of emotional wealth, allowing us to invite more positive experiences into every facet of our lives. Whether in our relationships, careers, or financial situations, this newfound abundance brings a transformative energy that enriches all aspects of who we are. However, the practice of self-compassion during shadow work is not without its challenges. Our inner critic, often a well-established voice in our minds, may resist this approach. It may argue that we are being too lenient, too soft on ourselves, suggesting that we need harsher self-criticism to grow. Yet, true wisdom tells us that real transformation comes from embracing who we are, not from relentless self-judgment. Growth happens when we accept ourselves fully and work with our flaws, not when we attempt to fight them or cast them aside. As you journey through shadow work, let self-compassion be your constant companion. When you encounter difficulties, remember that challenges are not obstacles to be avoided, but natural steps along this sacred path. Your shadow has been protecting you in its own way, and it deserves recognition, gratitude, and gentle understanding as you work to integrate it into your conscious life. The aim of shadow work is not to eliminate parts of ourselves, but to bring them into awareness, to understand them, and to incorporate them in ways that empower us to live more fully. Self-compassion enables us to face our flaws, fears, and emotional wounds without avoidance or shame. When life feels overwhelming and the weight of our emotions seems too much to bear, take a moment to speak kindly to yourself. Acknowledge the courage it takes to confront these hidden parts of yourself. By facing your shadow with kindness, You are not only healing yourself, but also paving the way for others to heal, too. This approach transforms what could be a harsh, critical experience into a process of self-discovery and self-appreciation. As you continue along your shadow work journey, remember this truth. You deserve compassion, understanding, and love, every part of you, including your shadow. When you offer yourself kindness, you create a space for deep healing and transformation. You align with the energies of love and acceptance, which ripple outwards, inviting more of these qualities into your life. Your shadow is not a burden to hide. It is a vital part of who you are, a force that makes your life richer, deeper, and more meaningful. Welcome it with open arms and see how your entire life transforms, bathed in the glow of self-love and acceptance. Shadow work is also deeply intertwined with our relationships and our capacity to love ourselves. As we dive into the depths of our inner world, we uncover parts of ourselves that we've ignored or refused to acknowledge. This process of recognition and acceptance doesn't just change us internally, it transforms the way we connect with others. When we begin to accept our shadow, we start to understand ourselves on a deeper level. We realize that we are more than the polished versions we present to the world. We are also the parts of ourselves that we consider flawed, unworthy, or unlovable. True self-love arises when we can look at our imperfections, our mistakes, and our darker impulses not with judgment, but with kindness and understanding. This is where real growth begins, when we no longer seek validation from others because we have found it within ourselves. As our self-love deepens, something beautiful happens in our relationships. We no longer enter them from a place of need, but from a place of wholeness. We connect with others not because we are incomplete and seeking fulfillment, but because we are already full and overflowing with love, empathy, and understanding. This shift changes the very nature of our relationships. We begin to focus on what we can give to others rather than what we can receive. No longer do we search for someone to fill an empty space within us. We bring our fullness into the connection. And in this space of wholeness, we are able to accept the flaws and imperfections of others as well. Just as we have parts of ourselves that we once felt ashamed of, so too does everyone else. This mutual understanding fosters empathy and compassion, reducing our tendency to judge others harshly. As we embrace our own vulnerabilities, we learn to do the same for those we love. Conflicts that once escalated into arguments now become opportunities for deeper understanding. We no longer feel the need to defend ourselves because we are secure in who we are. And in this security, we can offer support to others in their struggles, just as we have learned to support ourselves. In romantic relationships, shadow work is incredibly transformative. Many of us enter relationships hoping to find someone who will complete us, only to realize, through shadow work, that wholeness is something we cultivate within ourselves. When two whole people come together, the relationship ceases to be a means of fulfilling unmet needs, and instead becomes a beautiful enhancement to their already satisfying lives. In this state, we see our partners not as extensions of ourselves, but as individuals in their own right, deserving of recognition and love for who they truly are, free from the projections of our own fears and desires. Moreover, our shadow often contains the very traits that draw us to others. As we work to integrate these aspects of ourselves, our relationships feel more balanced and authentic. We no longer project our unresolved issues onto our partners, but instead, we meet them as they are, without distortion. This clarity allows us to connect in a way that is genuine and untainted by unconscious patterns. Shadow work also helps us break free from unhealthy relationship habits. Many of us unknowingly carry patterns from childhood or past experiences into our current relationships. Through the process of shadow work, we become aware of these patterns, and we can make conscious choices to break free from them. Whether it's the habit of gravitating toward unavailable partners or sabotaging relationships out of fear of intimacy, shadow work gives us the tools to change the narrative. By healing ourselves, we transform our approach to love and connection, and in doing so, we create healthier, more fulfilling relationships. As we embark on the journey of shadow work, we don't just change the way we relate to ourselves. We begin to reshape the world around us. The law of attraction reveals an essential truth. We draw into our lives not merely the things we desire, but the essence of who we are. When we take the time to truly understand and accept the parts of ourselves that we've hidden or neglected, we naturally attract people and situations that reflect our most authentic selves. It's as though we begin to build a life that resonates deeply with who we truly are, bringing into alignment every part of us with the flow of the universe. We no longer feel the need to hide away parts of ourselves. Instead, we move through life in a harmonious state of wholeness. This doesn't mean that life becomes perfect or that relationships are without their challenges. Shadow work isn't about eliminating struggles, but about fostering the resilience and self-awareness needed to face life's inevitable difficulties with grace and wisdom. We continue to encounter conflicts, misunderstandings, and moments of disconnection. Yet with the tools we've gained, we now have the ability to navigate these situations calmly, thoughtfully, and with greater clarity. In the realm of friendships, shadow work teaches us to be more authentic, more true to ourselves. No longer do we fear judgment because we've already confronted our inner critic. There's something magnetic about a person who dares to show up as they truly are, not hiding behind perfection, but willing to expose both their strengths and their vulnerabilities. When we allow ourselves to be genuine, our friendships deepen, becoming more meaningful and enduring. We begin to see one another not through the lens of expectation or comparison, but with openness, understanding, and acceptance. Our connection to society is also profoundly transformed through shadow work. As we face our own biases, fears, and hidden prejudices, we become more aware of the complexities of the world around us. We approach social issues with a clearer understanding, no longer rushing to judgment, but instead seeking to understand before we react. This shift in perspective allows us to foster greater empathy, creating the space to bridge divides and uncover common ground, ultimately making us more responsible, compassionate members of society. In a similar vein, shadow work can dramatically alter how we relate to the divine, however we choose to define it. When we embrace every part of ourselves, the light and the dark, the beautiful and the broken, we begin to see the divine reflection in everything, including the things we once deemed unworthy or unlovable. Our completeness mirrors the completeness of the universe, and this connection infuses our relationships with a deeper sense of purpose and meaning. It's a spiritual bond that transcends the surface, grounding us in the sacredness of existence itself. Shadow work is not a destination, but an ongoing journey, an unfolding process of self-discovery. As we continue to explore the depths of our minds, we keep uncovering new facets of ourselves, each one waiting to be integrated into the whole. Along the way, our capacity for love, both for ourselves and for others, expands. We cultivate patience, understanding, and compassion, learning to embrace our struggles instead of running from them. This process brings a profound sense of freedom, as we no longer feel compelled to present a flawless image to the world. We are free to be messy, complicated, inconsistent, just as any human being is. In this acceptance of our humanity, we forge the deepest connections with others, grounded not in illusions or falsehoods, but in honesty, vulnerability, and the mutual desire to embrace each other as we are. The real gift of shadow work lies not just in healthier, more authentic relationships, but in a complete shift in how we approach all of our connections, whether with others, with ourselves, or with the world at large. It is a path that demands courage, truth, and unwavering determination from those who choose to walk it, but for those who dare to embrace it, the rewards are endless. By fully accepting our shadow, we fully become ourselves, and in doing so, we encourage others to do the same. This, in turn, creates a ripple effect, building a world grounded in real connections, genuine understanding, and boundless love. The practice of journaling serves as one of the most powerful tools in this journey of self-discovery. Writing is not simply a way of documenting events or expressing fleeting thoughts. It is a dialogue with the deepest parts of ourselves. In shadow work, journaling becomes a sanctuary, a safe and sacred space where our most hidden emotions, thoughts, and desires can surface and be understood. As you begin to embark on this journey of introspection, writing becomes more than just a method of expressing feelings. It becomes a powerful tool for unearthing the truths that lie beneath the surface of your everyday consciousness. When you start journaling, you begin to connect your conscious mind with the deeper, often unexplored parts of your psyche. This bridge between the surface and the subconscious allows ideas, feelings, and insights to emerge that might otherwise remain buried under the weight of daily life. Whether with pen and paper or on a screen, writing becomes a conversation with your inner self, inviting the hidden parts of your personality to step forward and be seen. As you write, try to release any expectations or judgments about what should come out. Your journal is a place for unfiltered truth, a space where even the most difficult realizations can be expressed without fear of consequence. Allow your writing to flow freely, without corrections or edits. This method bypasses the logical, analytical mind and taps directly into your subconscious, revealing thoughts and memories you may have forgotten, emotions you've repressed, or new insights about behaviors that have been hindering your growth. Accept these revelations, even if they're uncomfortable, for they are the keys to your personal evolution. As you continue this practice, you may notice recurring themes or emotions. These are the parts of your psyche that need attention and healing. Pay close attention to any resistance you feel while journaling, for this often signals that you're approaching something important, something that has been hidden or avoided for far too long. Don't shy away from this discomfort. Embrace it and allow it to guide you to deeper truths. Journaling can also serve as a powerful tool for bringing your dreams and desires into focus, allowing you to connect more clearly with the law of attraction. By writing about your goals and aspirations, you give them form, making them tangible and real. The act of expressing what you want helps you communicate your desires to the universe, setting the stage for manifestation. Don't be afraid to write about your doubts and fears as well, for these are the shadows that need recognition and integration. Acknowledge these emotions and include them in your reflections, as they are just as important as the dreams themselves. Consider using journaling prompts to help you dive deeper into specific areas of your life. These prompts can guide your reflections and help you clarify your intentions. In the process, you'll not only discover more about yourself, but also set the stage for the universe to bring your desires to life, just as you have brought your shadow into the light. Through this practice, you invite both healing and transformation, drawing closer to your truest self with each word written. Journaling can serve as a profound gateway to understanding the complexities of your inner world, helping you uncover the layers of your thoughts and emotions that often lie dormant beneath the surface. Questions like, "What am I most afraid of?" or "Which part of myself do I find hardest to accept?" hold the power to gently guide you towards the heart of your self-awareness. Facing these difficult emotions and memories, those challenging moments we often seek to avoid, can lead to the most transformative periods of healing and personal growth. As you pin down your thoughts, take a moment to pay attention to how your body responds. Often, our physical sensations offer us a window into feelings and realizations our minds have yet to process. If you find your chest tightening or a knot forming in your stomach when reflecting on a particular topic, don't dismiss it. These physical reactions are powerful cues pointing to areas of your soul that may need more attention and healing. But journaling is not solely about uncovering the darker parts of ourselves. It also serves as a space for celebration, recognizing the strengths you've developed, the progress you've made, and the resilience you've shown in the face of challenges. This balance is crucial, as it allows both the light and the shadows of your personality to exist in harmony, fostering a sense of wholeness and self-acceptance. Through this practice, you begin to realize that both the positive and the negative facets of who you are contribute to the beautiful complexity of your existence. As you continue to make journaling a consistent part of your shadow work, you might begin to notice that your entries start to take on a life of their own. You may find yourself conversing with the different aspects of your personality, inviting those parts that have long been silenced to speak their truths. This inner dialogue can be enlightening, helping you gain deeper insights into your fears, desires, and motivations. But remember, the path of shadow work is not one of instant revelations. Change takes time, and the benefits of journaling are cumulative. Trust the process, and be gentle with yourself as you go. At the end of each journaling session, pause and reflect. Look for patterns, recurring themes, or emotions that need further exploration. These moments of reflection are opportunities to not only understand, but also to integrate new insights into your life. Shadow work isn't merely about learning more about yourself. It's about actively engaging with your deeper layers and bringing them into the light so that you can make meaningful changes. Through this process, journaling becomes more than just a record of your thoughts. It transforms into a sacred companion, a guide to your growth and a testament to your journey towards wholeness. As you close your journal, take a quiet moment to tune into your inner thoughts. In the stillness, you'll find that they hold the wisdom of your truest self, the one who is waiting to step into the life that is rightfully yours. Believe in the journey, for as you confront the darker aspects of yourself, you carve the path toward becoming the best version of who you are meant to be. Meditation, when used as a tool for connecting with your shadow, offers a gentle yet powerful way to engage with the parts of yourself that have remained hidden. Inside each of us lies a vast, untapped resource, a treasure trove of knowledge, wisdom, and potential. It's the part of us that we've neglected or suppressed, and through guided meditation, we can create the space necessary to connect with this deeper, often unseen, self. Meditation allows us to relax and tune into the subtle rhythms of our mind, shedding light on the shadows that have long been veiled. To begin, find a quiet, safe space where you can fully relax. Close your eyes and envision yourself surrounded by a protective bubble of soft, white light. This light represents your truest self, your innate wisdom and the unconditional love of the universe. Take a deep, slow breath, inhaling peace, and exhale all tension and resistance. Feel your body sink into the surface below you, heavy and supported, as your mind settles into a tranquil stillness, like a calm lake reflecting the vast sky above. Imagine now that you are standing at the edge of a forest, a symbolic boundary between your conscious mind and the subconscious realms that lie within. The forest represents your inner world, filled with familiar paths and hidden areas yet to be discovered. As you step onto the winding trail, remind yourself that this is the beginning of a journey not to escape yourself, but to embrace all that you are. The trees around you, ancient and wise, whisper secrets to those who are willing to listen. Their stories are yours to uncover. As you venture deeper into the forest, the path becomes less distinct, the light filtering through the trees softening, creating an atmosphere of mystery. This is the moment where your conscious mind meets the hidden recesses of your soul. It is here that you may begin to feel resistance, a natural response when we encounter the unfamiliar or the uncomfortable. Acknowledge these feelings. They are guides, pointing you toward areas in need of healing and growth. Eventually, you come to a clearing bathed in gentle light, where a mirror stands alone, its surface reflecting not just your physical form but the essence of your shadow self. As you approach the mirror, you may feel a mixture of curiosity and trepidation. Breathe deeply and remind yourself that you are safe. This mirror reflects not just your image, but the parts of you that have long been buried, the aspects of yourself that you may not always recognize. Look into the mirror with openness, allowing the reflection to shift and transform. You may begin to see symbols, figures, or aspects of yourself that have remained hidden in the shadows. Resist the urge to judge or look away. Instead, lean in with compassion and curiosity. What is your shadow trying to tell you? What wisdom, what needs, what desires have been tucked away, waiting for you to acknowledge them? Take a moment to engage with these parts of yourself, having a quiet, respectful conversation. They are a part of you, and by connecting with them, you can unlock the deeper layers of your being, leading to healing, growth, and a fuller understanding of your true self. When you begin to connect with your shadow, you may find insights emerging in the form of words, emotions, or even a gut feeling. Trust whatever arises, even if it initially seems illogical or confusing. The language of the shadow is not straightforward. It speaks in symbols, in metaphors, and it takes time to fully understand. As you continue to explore these deeper layers of your psyche, you might experience discomfort or resistance. These feelings are natural, even expected. Our shadows often carry the parts of ourselves that we deem unworthy or unacceptable, the hidden aspects that we've repressed because they don't fit into the image of who we think we should be. These parts are not our enemies. They seek harmony, not control. They are simply waiting for acceptance and understanding, yearning to be acknowledged, to feel seen. In this moment of deep introspection, pause and offer love and acceptance to these hidden fragments of yourself. Imagine warmly welcoming them, embracing them with open arms, and allowing them to merge with your conscious awareness. As you do this, you may feel a shift, a sense of relief, as if a weight you've been carrying for far too long is finally lifted. This is the beginning of integration, the transformation of lead into gold in the alchemy of your soul. When your meditation session draws to a close, take a few moments to reflect on what you've experienced. What emotions have surfaced? What insights have you uncovered about yourself? How do you feel now, compared to how you felt when you began this journey? Allow yourself the space to gently reawaken to your physical surroundings. Move your fingers and toes. Take a deep breath, and when you're ready, slowly open your eyes. The connection with your shadow self will remain with you, even as you return to your everyday life. This guided meditation is only the beginning of your shadow work journey. By practicing regularly, you will gain deeper understanding and begin to integrate your shadow aspects more seamlessly, leading to a profound transformation. As you continue this work, you might notice significant shifts in your relationships, your creativity, and your overall sense of wholeness. Connecting with your shadow is not about banishing these darker parts of yourself, but rather about accepting and integrating them into your whole being. It is through this acceptance that you begin to create a more authentic and powerful version of yourself. This process requires bravery, patience, and a deep kindness toward yourself. But the rewards are immeasurable. Your shadow holds not only your fears and insecurities, but also your hidden strengths and untapped potential. By embracing all parts of yourself, you open the door to real transformation, to the possibility of becoming the person you are meant to be. Shadow work is the key that unlocks the treasure chest of your fullest potential. It is the start of your personal hero's journey, facing your challenges, discovering your hidden treasures, and emerging stronger than ever. As you move forward, trust that the universe is guiding you, offering opportunities for healing and growth. Believe in this journey, give yourself time, and remain open to the insights that will naturally arise. Ultimately, by accepting and embracing your shadow, you can fully step into the truth of who you are. Feelings of guilt, shame, and resentment have the power to cast a long shadow over our lives, quietly shaping how we think, feel, and behave. These heavy emotions often lurk beneath the surface, influencing our choices and relationships in ways we may not even be aware of. As you embark on your shadow work, it is essential to confront these emotions head-on. Only by acknowledging and releasing them can you step into the light of your true self, free from the burden of the past. Guilt, shame, and resentment are like chains that bind us to old stories that no longer serve us, but which continue to influence our present. They are emotional weights that hold us back, making it difficult to fully experience the joys and opportunities life has to offer. They subtly chip away at our dreams, fostering self-doubt that prevents us from taking risks and following our passions. But these emotions, no matter how intense or ingrained, do not define who we are. They are not fixed parts of our identity, but rather learned responses based on our past experiences and the ways in which we perceive ourselves and the world around us. To begin the process of letting go, we must first understand where these emotions come from. Guilt often arises when we believe we've done something wrong or failed to meet the expectations of others, or even our own. Shame digs deeper, eroding our sense of self-worth, making us feel flawed or unworthy of love and acceptance. Resentment, on the other hand, is a lingering anger directed at those we believe have wronged us or treated us unjustly. These emotions are like magnets that attract more negativity, keeping us stuck in a loop of pain and self-judgment. The law of attraction teaches us that what we focus on expands. So, when we hold on to guilt, shame, and resentment, we unintentionally invite more situations that mirror these negative feelings into our lives. It becomes a vicious cycle that feels impossible to escape. But the truth is, we don't have to hold on to these emotions. They don't serve our highest good. By releasing them, we make space for new energy, new opportunities, and new growth to enter our lives. The first step in releasing these emotions is awareness. We must recognize when we are carrying guilt, shame, or resentment without judging ourselves for it. It's important to simply acknowledge these feelings and observe them without becoming overwhelmed by them. This awareness helps us step back and examine the emotions with clarity, instead of reacting impulsively to them. Once we recognize the feelings, we can begin to question their validity. Are the reasons behind our guilt truly justified? Is the shame we feel based on an accurate understanding of our worth, or is it a distorted view? Is our resentment serving us, or is it simply keeping us anchored in the past, preventing us from moving forward? Often, when we take a closer look, we discover that these emotions stem from outdated beliefs or incorrect thinking that no longer serve us. Letting go of guilt, shame, and resentment is a process of forgiveness. This means forgiving not only others who have hurt us, but also forgiving ourselves. Self-forgiveness can be the hardest part because we are often our own harshest critics, but it is essential for healing. Forgiveness doesn't mean excusing bad behavior or ignoring the pain of the past. It's a conscious decision to release the emotional weight we carry and to reclaim our strength and peace. Being kind to yourself is one of the most powerful tools in overcoming these negative feelings. Treat yourself with the same compassion and understanding you would offer a dear friend. Recognize that making mistakes and facing challenges is a natural part of being human. It's through these struggles that we learn and grow. By being gentle with yourself, you allow space for healing to take place, releasing the grip of guilt, shame, and resentment, and creating room for new possibilities and a brighter, more fulfilling future. Rather than burdening yourself with constant criticism over past actions or perceived shortcomings, focus your energy on growth and learning. The journey of self-improvement, particularly through mindfulness and meditation, offers powerful tools to help in this process. By learning to observe your thoughts and emotions without becoming entangled in them, you create a vital space, an emotional distance, between yourself and the negative feelings that arise. This space enables you to approach difficult situations with greater clarity, wisdom, and emotional control, rather than reacting impulsively out of guilt, shame, or resentment. Shifting the way you perceive your experiences can be a profound way to release these emotions. Instead of viewing past mistakes or painful moments as sources of shame or bitterness, try to reframe them as opportunities for growth. Every challenge, no matter how difficult, holds the potential to make us stronger, wiser, and more compassionate, if we choose to see it that way. It's important to remember that releasing guilt, shame, and resentment is not a one-time act. It is a continuous, evolving journey. These feelings may resurface, particularly when we face new challenges or are reminded of our past wounds. When they do, treat them with kindness and understanding. Gently redirect your focus toward more uplifting and positive thoughts. When you free yourself from the grip of these negative emotions, you open the door to new possibilities. Letting go of guilt, shame, and resentment creates the space you need to pursue your dreams with renewed vigor and confidence. It allows you to invite more positive experiences and meaningful relationships into your life, and connect more deeply with the energy of abundance and happiness. Your past actions or the judgments of others do not define you. You are a dynamic being, capable of growth, transformation, and reinvention. As you release the weight of guilt, shame, and resentment, you reclaim your power to shape the future you desire. In the grand scheme of life, these emotions are fleeting. They are but temporary limitations. When you let go of them, you create room for new and vibrant experiences to enrich your life's journey. Embrace this process of release with tenderness and self-care. Trust in the path ahead, understanding that every step you take toward letting go brings you closer to a lighter, more authentic version of yourself. Though the journey may be challenging at times, the peace and freedom that await you on the other side make it all worthwhile. Remember, true strength does not lie in avoiding mistakes or shielding yourself from pain, but in how we respond to the challenges life presents. By releasing what no longer serves you, you make space for the full expression of your potential. Know that the universe is ready to support you in your transformation, illuminating the light and love that reside within you. Lesson 13. Forgiveness as a tool for healing the shadow. Forgiveness is an essential and transformative act at the heart of shadow work. It is the key that liberates us from the feelings of anger, resentment, and pain that keep us tethered to an incomplete version of ourselves. In the process of shadow work, we come face to face with aspects of ourselves and others that we have judged, rejected, or tried to suppress. Forgiveness is what allows us to embrace these parts with compassion and clarity, leading to profound healing and personal growth. In shadow work, forgiveness changes the way we perceive our experiences, enabling us to release the energy we've expended holding on to anger and negative emotions. Forgiveness doesn't mean we condone harmful actions or minimize the hurt we've endured. Rather, it means choosing to release the emotional burden tied to those painful experiences, opening up new possibilities for healing and restoration. Forgiveness manifests in different ways throughout shadow work. First, there is self-forgiveness, the act of showing kindness and understanding to ourselves for our flaws, mistakes, and perceived shortcomings. This can be incredibly difficult, as we are often our own harshest critics. But self-forgiveness is crucial. It allows us to recognize that we are human, deserving of love and acceptance, and lays the foundation for embracing all parts of ourselves. Next, there is the forgiveness of others. This involves letting go of the resentment and anger we hold toward those who have hurt us. It doesn't mean we excuse or justify their actions, but it means we decide to release the emotional grip those past hurts have on us. In doing so, we free ourselves from their continued influence and pave the way for healing and growth. Finally, there is a broader form of forgiveness that encompasses all of life's challenges, disappointments, and pains. This kind of forgiveness involves accepting that life, by nature, has its highs and lows, and embracing the fullness of existence, even with all its imperfections. It is the decision to continue living wholeheartedly, despite the inevitable struggles we face. To practice forgiveness in shadow work, we must first become aware of where we are holding on to resentment, anger, or judgment. This often requires quiet reflection and honest self-assessment. Once we identify these areas, we can begin the healing process through various methods. One powerful approach is writing a forgiveness letter, whether to yourself or to someone else. Expressing your feelings and then consciously deciding to release them can be incredibly cathartic. The letter need not be sent. Its purpose is to help you process and release the emotions attached to those experiences. Another method is forgiveness meditation, where you imagine the person or people you wish to forgive, including yourself, and repeat phrases such as, "I forgive you," or "I release you" in your mind. Forgiveness is not a one-time event. It takes time and often requires repeated effort, especially when it comes to deep wounds. Be patient with yourself throughout the process. Each step you take toward forgiveness brings you closer to the freedom and peace you deserve. As you practice forgiveness, you may realize that it's not just about letting go of a specific person or action, but about releasing the pain you've carried because of it. This realization can be incredibly liberating, as it allows you to focus not on the past, but on the opportunities for healing, growth, and joy that lie ahead. The true power lies not in controlling the external circumstances around us, but in mastering our inner world. When we stop focusing on the things we cannot control and shift our attention to how we respond within, we unlock the potential to transform ourselves. Forgiveness, coupled with shadow work, is a path to this profound self-mastery. It teaches us to recognize how deeply interconnected all beings and experiences are. When we understand that every individual, at any given moment, is simply doing their best with the knowledge they have, compassion and forgiveness become easier to offer. This doesn't mean we condone harmful actions, but it allows us to see the humanity in others, even when they have hurt us. As we practice forgiveness, we may notice our judgments softening, both toward ourselves and toward others. This gentler perspective invites us to approach our shadow selves with curiosity and compassion rather than fear or rejection. Instead of seeing our flaws as enemies to be banished, we begin to recognize that they are teachers, offering us invaluable lessons. Accepting these aspects of ourselves enables us to integrate them into a fuller, richer version of who we are becoming. Forgiveness in shadow work resonates with the core principles of the law of attraction. By releasing negative emotions and embracing acceptance, love, and understanding, we change the frequency at which we vibrate. This shift opens the door to a more abundant flow of positive experiences and relationships, creating a cycle of healing, growth, and joy. The energy we once spent harboring grudges or suppressing parts of ourselves is freed up, allowing us to access deeper insights and intuition. With this newfound clarity, we can live more authentically, guided by a wisdom that transcends surface-level perceptions. As we move deeper into shadow work and forgiveness, we might find that our capacity for compassion expands. This growing compassion reaches beyond our own personal struggles and extends to a wider understanding of human suffering. The realization that we are all connected by our shared experiences of pain, joy, and growth fosters a deep sense of unity with everything around us. This natural empathy encourages us to be kinder, more helpful, and more present in the lives of others. Forgiveness aids in healing the shadow by helping us choose love over fear, connection over separation, and freedom over confinement. It requires courage to open ourselves up to vulnerability and strength to face the parts of us that have been hidden for so long. The rewards, however, are immense. Feeling lighter, thinking more clearly, and gaining a deeper sense of who we truly are. As we continue to move forward on our shadow work journey, forgiveness is always available to us. At any moment, we can decide to release the past and make space for new opportunities. With forgiveness, we reclaim our true essence and draw closer to realizing our full potential. Forgiveness is not just a way to heal. It is a catalyst for personal transformation and spiritual growth. Lesson 14. Bringing together your shadow for wholeness. In the process of self-discovery and personal growth, we inevitably reach a point where we realize that true change comes not from rejecting parts of ourselves, but from accepting them. Integration of the shadow is not just about improving who we are. It is essential for unlocking our full potential and living a life that is authentic, powerful, and deeply meaningful. Carl Jung's concept of the shadow encompasses all the aspects of ourselves that we have pushed aside, ignored, or rejected. These hidden parts of our personality often include traits we deem unacceptable, weaknesses we feel ashamed of, or desires we fear confronting. Interestingly, it is within these shadows that we often find our greatest strength and profound wisdom. The journey to integrate these aspects begins with recognizing that the shadow is not our enemy. It is simply the part of us that has been misunderstood, repressed, or denied acceptance. The child within us may have been told to be quiet, the creative spirit within may have been stifled, and our anger may have been suppressed. When we approach these parts with curiosity and kindness, we begin a dialogue with our true self, a dialogue that can feel awkward or uncomfortable, but is crucial for our healing. This process requires bravery. It takes strength to face the parts of ourselves we've avoided for so long. Yet, when we do, we release a great deal of energy that was previously spent holding those parts at bay. With this freed energy, we make room for growth, creativity, and authenticity. By embracing our shadow, we start to experience profound shifts in how we relate to others. The qualities we once criticized in others often mirror the very traits we have yet to acknowledge within ourselves. When we embrace these traits in ourselves, we become more empathetic, understanding, and compassionate toward others. As we evolve, we begin to attract relationships that reflect our authentic selves. Integration shows us hidden talents and skills we never knew we had. The aggression we once saw as a weakness might actually be a strength that allows us to be assertive and lead effectively. The sensitivity we tried to conceal could be the very source of our intuition and compassion. By accepting these aspects of ourselves, we unlock potential we never imagined was there. One powerful method for aiding in this integration is through active imagination. Find a quiet space where you can be alone, close your eyes, and imagine your shadow as a separate being. What does it look like? How does it feel? Engage in a conversation with this part of yourself and listen to its message without judgment. This dialogue can often reveal surprising insights and wisdom. Journaling is another effective tool in this process. Set aside time each day to write freely, allowing your thoughts and feelings to flow without restraint. Over time, you will begin to notice recurring themes and patterns that point toward parts of yourself that are seeking integration. As you work with your shadow, you may encounter resistance. This is normal, as the ego often resists change, even when it is for the better. Recognize this resistance with compassion, understanding that it stems from a protective instinct. Gently remind yourself that embracing your shadow leads to greater freedom and wholeness. The law of attraction teaches us that we attract experiences that resonate with our inner state. As we bring together our shadow, we elevate our energy and frequency. We begin to act from a place of completeness and self-acceptance, drawing in more of what aligns with our highest good. When we shift our focus from a mindset of fear or scarcity to one of acceptance and self-compassion, the energy around us begins to change. This subtle yet profound transformation invites experiences and opportunities that resonate with our true essence, aligning us with who we really are, not with the projections of who society expects us to be. As you continue on this path of integration, you might begin to notice something remarkable. Your perception of success itself starts to evolve. While external accomplishments remain significant, they no longer define your worth. Instead, you begin to measure success by the peace you feel within and the authenticity you embody in your daily life. You discover that your value lies not in external validation, but in your ability to connect deeply with your own purpose and goals. The journey of shadow integration is not about reaching a final destination or achieving perfection. It's an ongoing process of growth, a continual unfolding of self-awareness. Every time we uncover a hidden part of ourselves, we expand our capacity to love, create, and experience joy. This work is not about flawless perfection. It's about accepting the entirety of our human nature in all its messy, beautiful complexity. As you progress on this path, you might notice that you become more at ease with contradictions, with the inherent uncertainty of life. You come to understand that it's possible to hold two opposing ideas at once, knowing that life is rarely just one way or the other. This newfound flexibility allows you to live more fully, embracing the contradictions within and around you, and showing up authentically in every moment. As you integrate your shadow, you begin to shine as a beacon for others. Your willingness to be true to yourself offers permission for others to accept their own flaws, and in doing so, your personal healing becomes a powerful force for collective transformation. You may not even realize how deeply your journey of healing can impact those around you, but it does. In the quiet act of embracing yourself, you create a ripple effect of compassion and understanding that can touch lives in ways both big and small. Remember to take care of yourself throughout this process. Bringing all parts of yourself together is an act of profound self-care, one that acknowledges every step, no matter how small, as progress. Celebrate the little victories, even when they seem insignificant, and trust that your mind knows the pace at which you need to heal. The rhythm of your growth is unique to you. By accepting your shadow, you allow yourself to experience the full spectrum of emotions, from deep sorrow to ecstatic joy. It is only by embracing this entire emotional range that life takes on its true depth and meaning. The goal is not to rid yourself of the shadow, for without it, the light would not shine. The true aim is to learn to dance with both the light and the darkness, finding a balance that allows you to show all aspects of yourself without shame. This dance between light and shadow is the key to freedom. It is through embracing both sides that we unlock a vitality that is deeply rooted in our authentic nature. When you embrace your shadow, you transform what once felt heavy and burdensome into something valuable. The very traits you once resented in yourself can, with acceptance, become your greatest sources of strength. This is the real power of shadow work, turning what seemed like a weakness into enduring strength. The integration of the shadow means returning to your truest self, gathering all the fragmented pieces you've long ignored, and bringing them together into a cohesive whole. In this completeness, you discover a deep sense of peace, direction, and strength that guides you forward, not as the person you thought you should be, but as the person you truly are, a wonderfully complex being capable of immense love, creativity, and the ability to make a meaningful impact in the world. Lesson 15. How shadow work reveals your true potential. Shadow work serves as a powerful path to uncovering your true potential by revealing the hidden, often overlooked parts of yourself. It is a journey of self-discovery, an invitation to face the aspects of your being that you've kept in the shadows, those parts that have been tucked away or ignored for fear of what they might reveal. These hidden aspects, often deemed unacceptable or too raw to acknowledge, are rich with untapped power, creativity, and wisdom. By accepting and incorporating these parts into your conscious awareness, you unlock a wellspring of strength and insight that has been lying dormant within you. The shadow contains all the traits, emotions, and desires we consider unworthy or unlovable. It is where we store our deepest fears, our insecurities, and our perceived weaknesses. But here's the paradox. What we push away remains unchanged, whereas what we embrace has the potential to transform us. When we approach our shadow with compassion and curiosity, we begin to see its value, unlocking its potential to fuel our growth and personal development. Imagine a garden where only some flowers are allowed to bloom, while others are consistently uprooted or ignored. This garden, though beautiful, cannot reach its full potential without the full spectrum of colors and fragrances. In the same way, when we neglect parts of ourselves, we limit our ability to fully experience the richness of life. Shadow work teaches us to nurture every aspect of our inner world, including the parts we once deemed unimportant, and to discover their unique value and purpose. Though shadow work can be challenging and uncomfortable at times, it is through these very challenges that we discover our true power. Carl Jung, the founder of analytical psychology, famously said, "One does not become enlightened by imagining figures of light, but by making the darkness conscious." It is in the exploration of our darker, hidden selves that we find the key to unlocking our full potential. As we engage in shadow work, we begin to notice patterns in our behavior that have held us back. Cycles of self-sabotage, limiting beliefs, and unconscious habits that have prevented us from fully stepping into our power. These patterns often stem from unresolved traumas or beliefs buried deep in our subconscious. Once we become aware of these patterns, we gain the ability to break free from them and choose healthier, more empowering ways of living. The law of attraction teaches us that we attract experiences not just based on what we desire, but on who we are. If we continue to harbor unresolved issues, those issues will inevitably surface in our lives, often in ways that contradict our conscious desires. But when we integrate our shadow, we align our subconscious mind with our conscious intentions. This creates a powerful synergy, enabling us to manifest our true desires with greater ease and clarity. Shadow work also unlocks our creative potential. Many of our best ideas and inspirations come from the parts of ourselves we've overlooked or rejected. By embracing these aspects, we tap into a deep well of creativity that enhances our artistic endeavors, problem-solving abilities, and innovative thinking. Moreover, shadow work deepens our emotional understanding, expanding our ability to empathize with others and offer genuine compassion. In the process of accepting every part of yourself, you cultivate a deeper sense of emotional intelligence and a greater capacity for connection. This newfound understanding allows you to show up more authentically in your relationships, leading to more meaningful connections and a richer, more fulfilling life. As we learn to embrace every part of ourselves, including those aspects we once judged or tried to hide, our understanding of others deepens. This newfound empathy strengthens our connections, weaving a tapestry of authentic relationships that enrich our lives in ways we never expected. By confronting our shadows, we cultivate a resilience that empowers us to face life's uncertainties with grace. Each time we meet our fears and insecurities head-on, we reinforce our inner strength, enabling us to navigate the challenges of life with greater ease. No longer tethered to external validation or societal approval, we find freedom in being our true selves, unmasked, unashamed, and fully present. This authenticity radiates, attracting opportunities and experiences that resonate with our deepest essence. Through shadow work, we begin to unlock our spiritual potential, breaking down the artificial divides between light and darkness, good and bad. As we integrate these dualities, we begin to perceive life in its fullness, gaining richer insights and a deeper connection to the spiritual truths that weave through our existence. This process of integration is not a destination, but a continual unfolding of self-awareness and growth. Each time we shine a light on a part of ourselves that was once hidden, we expand our capacity for growth and understanding. As you embark on this journey of self-discovery, approach it with a sense of curiosity and self-compassion. Treat every aspect of your being, especially the parts that feel difficult or uncomfortable, with kindness, knowing that even the darkest corners of your psyche hold valuable lessons. The practice of shadow work invites you to experience life more fully, to step into your wholeness, and to embrace a life that is genuine, meaningful, and enriched by every emotion, every contradiction, and every possibility. As you heal and integrate your shadows, you unlock your potential not only for personal transformation, but also for positively influencing those around you. By embracing your own authenticity, you pave the way for others to do the same. Your journey towards self-realization becomes a beacon of light for others, a quiet invitation to live openly and with love. Shadow work is a powerful, ongoing practice, a commitment to embracing every part of yourself with curiosity, compassion, and deep reverence for your own humanity. It is through this process of integration that you begin to experience life in its fullest depth, appreciating the complexity and beauty that lies within you. By accepting your shadow, you accept the entirety of your experience, and in doing so, you become a living testament to the transformative power of self-love and self-acceptance. The journey of shadow work ultimately reveals the incredible potential that resides within each of us. It is through facing our deepest fears and contradictions that we unlock the creative power, wisdom, and strength waiting to be tapped into. By integrating our shadows, we break free from the limitations imposed by our past experiences and step into a life that reflects our true, unfiltered essence. The beauty of this process lies in its ability to transform even our deepest vulnerabilities into sources of empowerment and resilience. When we begin the practice of shadow work, we may encounter deep-seated fears that keep us from reaching our potential. These fears often manifest as self-sabotage, the hidden forces within us that push us away from our dreams and keep us locked in cycles of inaction. It's the inner voice that tells us we're not worthy, the urge to procrastinate when a goal is within reach, or the unconscious desire to hold ourselves back when success seems imminent. Recognizing this pattern is the first step toward breaking free. Self-sabotage is rooted in our deepest insecurities, often born from past experiences or outdated beliefs about ourselves. These hidden fears work against our growth, trying to protect us from perceived pain, rejection, or failure, even if they ultimately hinder our progress. To heal from self-sabotage, we must first acknowledge its existence and understand its origins. By approaching it with a spirit of inquiry, rather than judgment, we begin to unravel the beliefs that have held us back. Ask yourself, what am I afraid of? What am I trying to protect myself from? These questions hold the key to understanding the forces behind self-sabotage. Often, these fears are not grounded in reality, but are remnants of old stories we've told ourselves. As we bring awareness to these patterns, we begin to dismantle the beliefs that no longer serve us and make room for new ways of thinking and being. The practice of addressing self-sabotage requires patience, curiosity, and a willingness to confront uncomfortable truths. It may help to visualize your inner saboteur as a separate entity, a voice in your mind that feels protective, yet ultimately holds you back. Rather than responding with frustration or resistance, engage with this voice. What does it need? What does it fear? By understanding its motivations, we can begin to heal the parts of ourselves that feel unworthy or inadequate. Self-sabotage is not a permanent state. It is something we can learn to identify and change. The path forward requires self-awareness, the courage to challenge our limiting beliefs, and the commitment to cultivate new habits that align with our true potential. With practice, we can break free from the cycles of self-doubt and fear, stepping into a life where we are fully aligned with our dreams and desires. When you begin to truly understand the fears and motivations that drive your actions, you gain the power to confront them directly. Rather than letting them unconsciously steer you, you take control, choosing to face them with courage and clarity. As you uncover your self-sabotaging habits, you shift your perspective. No longer do you see these patterns as weaknesses or overwhelming challenges, but as invaluable opportunities for growth. Each time you encounter a moment of self-sabotage, you are offered a chance to learn more about yourself, to heal old wounds, and to align your actions with your deepest desires. Overcoming self-sabotage is not an instantaneous transformation. It is a gradual process that requires patience and consistent effort. It's about rewiring the neural pathways that have been shaped over years, or even decades. This is a journey of creating new, positive beliefs that replace the limiting ones which once held you back. Affirmations, simple, yet powerful statements like, I am deserving of success, or I trust in my ability to rise above challenges, serve as guiding lights, gently shifting your mindset and inviting your energy to align with the outcomes you truly wish to manifest. A key part of this transformation involves embracing discomfort. Often, we hold ourselves back because we fear the unknown, or the vulnerability that comes with change. But when you learn to sit with those uncomfortable feelings, you realize that you can endure them and emerge stronger. Each time you push through discomfort, you build resilience, diminishing the grip of self-sabotage. This process is not just about external change, but about cultivating inner strength. Forgiveness also plays a vital role in this journey. It is essential to let go of the guilt or regret from moments when you fail to move forward. Understand that, in those instances, you were doing the best you could with the knowledge and resources you had at the time. By offering yourself compassion, you ease the process of transformation, allowing yourself to release the past and step into a future shaped by self-love and possibility. Remember, this work is ongoing. Overcoming self-sabotage is not a one-time fix. It's an evolving process. Along the way, old habits may resurface, tempting you to revert to familiar patterns. When this happens, don't be discouraged. View these moments as opportunities to practice your newfound skills, to recommit to your growth, and to deepen your self-awareness. Shadow work is a transformative practice that helps you shed the internal struggles that drain your energy, redirecting it toward your dreams and goals. When you stop battling yourself, you become a more integrated person, and the energy that was once spent in inner conflict is now freed to flow towards the manifestation of your desires. Facing self-sabotage through shadow work is akin to clearing a clogged pipe. Once the blockage is gone, your energy flows freely, bringing clarity, purpose, and new possibilities. In this newfound space, you may discover strengths, abilities, and talents you never realized you had, simply because they were buried under layers of fear and self-doubt. When you stop holding yourself back, you allow yourself to explore all the opportunities life has to offer. You begin to work in harmony with the universe, consciously creating the life you desire, rather than merely accepting what comes your way. By shifting your mindset and transforming the energy you project, you will see vast improvements in many areas of your life. In your relationships, your career, your health, and your personal growth. The goal isn't to rid yourself of self-doubt or to eliminate your shadow forever. Instead, it's about creating a harmonious relationship with all parts of yourself, both light and dark. By embracing every facet of who you are, you unlock a wellspring of inner wisdom and strength, allowing you to move through life with a sense of balance and purpose. Self-sabotage, in the grand scheme of your life, is merely one part of the puzzle. When you confront it, understand it, and then release it, you open yourself up to a more vibrant and fulfilling existence. You reconnect with the natural abundance around you, drawing in experiences and opportunities that resonate with your true self. As you continue your shadow work, approach the challenge of self-sabotage with kindness, courage, and a genuine desire to learn. Believe in the journey, for each step you take toward understanding and accepting your shadow brings you closer to a life of greater fulfillment and purpose. Your power to transform your life has always been inside you. Now, free from the chains of self-sabotage, you can tap into that power, embracing your full potential. The road ahead is one of discovery, self-acceptance, and a deeper connection to the universe. Trust that as you shed the limiting beliefs and fears that once held you back, you will unlock a future filled with growth, abundance, and joy. When traditional methods fall short, shadow work offers a path to real transformation. If you find yourself stuck, feeling like nothing is working, it may be time to look inward. Shadow work helps you explore the deepest corners of your mind, unearthing parts of yourself you may have overlooked or tried to hide. By bringing these hidden aspects into the light, you can turn them into strengths, insights, and opportunities for growth. This practice is invaluable because it doesn't merely address surface-level issues. It gets to the heart of your struggles. Shadow work is about understanding and healing the root causes of your challenges. It's a path that leads to profound personal growth and helps you build a deeper connection with yourself and the world around you. When you accept your shadow, you're not simply resolving small issues. You're transforming your entire relationship with yourself and your life. If you notice yourself repeatedly making the same mistakes or facing the same obstacles, it's a sign that it's time to dive deeper into your inner world. These challenges are not to be overcome or avoided, but embraced as guides to the areas of yourself that need healing. To begin using shadow work to transform your life, approach it with a spirit of curiosity and self-compassion. Explore your inner world with the same openness and wonder you'd have when visiting a new place. Every thought, feeling, and urge you encounter along the way offers a clue to understanding the intricate layers of your psyche. Your shadow is not something to fear or reject. It is an essential part of who you are, holding valuable resources and untapped potential. The purpose of shadow work is not to banish the shadow, but to align it with your conscious mind, integrating it into the fullest expression of your true self. In this integration, you discover a deeper sense of wholeness and a richer connection to the life you are meant to live. In the process of shadow work, the goal is to uncover and embrace every part of yourself, even those parts you've kept hidden or pushed away. Self-inquiry is an incredibly powerful tool on this journey. Begin by asking yourself some deep and honest questions. What aspects of me do I keep secret from others? What traits do I criticize most in the people around me? Which patterns or situations consistently frustrate me? These questions will serve as beacons, guiding you toward the hidden corners of your shadow. As you begin to discover these buried parts of your psyche, it's natural to experience some internal resistance. This is a part of the process, and you should expect it. Your ego will likely attempt to distract you, convincing you that this work is unnecessary or even harmful, all in the name of protecting you. Recognizing this resistance as part of the journey allows you to move beyond it, gently pushing through the discomfort. Often, it's when we confront our greatest challenges that we unlock our most profound successes. Journaling can be a deeply transformative tool here. Allow yourself to write freely, without self-judgment, letting the words flow onto the page as they come. The act of expressing yourself in this unfiltered way brings forth insights that may have been previously obscured. Pay attention to recurring patterns, strong emotional reactions, or memories that surface often. These are the clues pointing you toward the parts of your shadow that are ready to be acknowledged and integrated. As you continue this process, you may begin to notice a shift. Old beliefs and habits that once held you back may start to fade away, and the emotional reactions that once seemed overwhelming may lose their intensity. This is a sign that integration is happening. You are becoming more complete, more aligned with your true self. Shadow work is not about perfection or becoming someone you're not. It's about accepting every part of you, even the aspects you've long neglected or rejected. Through this work, you might realize that what you once viewed as weaknesses can actually be turned into strengths. The very parts of yourself that you ignored or judged harshly can become powerful resources when you learn to understand and incorporate them. The ripple effects of this integration can be profound. Your relationships may deepen and become more authentic as you shed the masks you once wore. Career challenges may become more manageable as you tap into hidden talents and break through the limitations you once imposed on yourself. You may even find that your creativity flourishes as you reconnect with parts of yourself that were once locked away. One of the most significant benefits of shadow work is the transformation of your relationship with yourself. As you begin to accept every facet of your being, you will find that self-love and self-acceptance come more naturally. The harsh voice of your inner critic softens, making way for a kinder, more compassionate internal dialogue. This doesn't mean you stop striving for growth or self-improvement. On the contrary, it creates a solid foundation from which you can pursue your goals with renewed confidence and strength. When you stop battling yourself, you release an incredible amount of energy that can now be directed toward positive change and personal evolution. As you continue your shadow work journey, you might notice a shift in how you perceive the world around you. The law of attraction teaches us that the experiences we draw into our lives are a reflection of our inner state. As you heal and work through your shadow, your outer world will begin to mirror this transformation. Opportunities that once seemed out of reach may suddenly become clear, and relationships that felt stagnant may grow stronger and more fulfilling. You may find yourself drawn to people, situations, and opportunities that nurture your growth and encourage you to become the best version of yourself. Take your time with shadow work. This is not a quick fix, nor is it something you can complete in one go. It is an ongoing, lifelong journey of self-discovery and growth. There will be days when you feel as if you've made significant progress, only to be met with a setback. This is entirely normal. Each challenge you encounter is simply another opportunity for deeper healing and integration. As you move through this work, your definition of success may begin to change. Instead of focusing solely on external markers of achievement, you may find that true peace and alignment come from within. You might begin to feel more drawn to goals that reflect your authentic self, rather than those shaped by societal expectations or the influence of others. The insights you gain through shadow work are invaluable. When you learn to understand and accept all aspects of yourself, you gain a profound understanding of human nature. This wisdom enables you to navigate life's difficulties with greater ease and resilience. As you begin to react less to the world around you, you become more attuned to your own inner voice, your intuition, and your true desires. Shadow work is not about reaching a final destination or achieving some ideal state of being. It is about enjoying the process of ongoing growth, constantly learning and evolving. As you peel back each layer of your psyche, you will uncover more to explore, more to understand. Each insight you gain leads to new questions, new avenues of self-discovery. This continuous journey of inner exploration brings richness, vibrancy, and meaning to life, opening up endless possibilities and opportunities. As you embark on this important journey, trust in the process. Know that the answers you seek are already within you, waiting to be revealed. By facing your shadow with courage, kindness, and patience, you are unlocking the door to a more authentic, empowered, and deeply satisfying life.